Hello colleagues, and welcome to this short briefing at the end of another week. Now for some of you, you'll be quite excited looking ahead to half term next week. I have a couple of days off during half term as well, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. But for others, there's another week to go until that half term rest arrives. To all of you, for when it does arrive, I wish you a really great rest and you'll have earned it for sure. So the next of our values that we're exploring and the behaviour that goes with those is around being attentive. And when we reflected on that as a group of leaders across the trust, that's the head teachers and also the senior leaders from the central team, we reflected on what it was to live out that value of being attentive. And we fell on the idea that it's about being humble and it's about the idea of concern for others. And anytime I hear the word humble, I'm always drawn back to Bishop Peter, who as a person was incredibly humble, but also shared with us his vision for the diocese a few years back, which was rooted in that lovely expression from the prophet Micah, to act justly, love tenderly, and walk humbly with your God. Now, I don't think actually you can do the last of those things, walk humbly with your God, unless you do the first two things as well, acting justly and loving tenderly. So when you are going about your business, just maybe let those words rest with you a little bit. It's a beautiful expression. It's maybe something that really connects, I think, particularly to the role of any leader across our trust, and all of us are leaders in many different ways in the day-to-day. So I just invite you to think about that a wee bit as you go about your work. And so just two more things in that case. One is around the peer review at St. Martin de Porres. That was an amazing review. We had some visitors from St. Edward's School over in Aylesbury. That's Suzette Harris and Joanna Heritage. We had Nikki Chu come up from St. Anthony's, and we had Emma Harper come up from St. Ethelbert's as well, all congregating on the school. And it was what, again, to emphasize this, what was just really striking was the notes that those leaders were taking back to their own schools. At the end of a peer review process, we have a lovely thing. We write some golden nuggets of things that we've seen over the course of the day that basically we're going to mercilessly take back to our own schools and rip off and try and replicate, because it's just great standards and it's great sharing. So I want to thank the colleagues at St. Martin de Porres School who've made fantastic progress over the last couple of years on some really key things that they were trying to drive forward. Well done to that team. But also thank you sincerely to the team that was there, fantastically led as always by Karen Armstrong, our head of primary improvement. This really is a great engine for getting great things out across our family of schools. And on that, we've been sort of agonising and bellyaching about the standard of writing in our trust for a wee little while, really. And we just wanted to get under the skin of, is that a problem for our family of schools? Is the standard of writing really challenging, and is it lower than the national picture? Or actually, are we quite good at that? And maybe the assessment needs looking at a wee little bit. And we're kind of now getting towards the point where we think it might be more the latter than the former. We think probably the quality of education and the pedagogy is coming through really strongly. And for the first time, we've got some really good evidence to underpin that. So we've been undertaking something called No More Marking, which is a bit of a misnomer really, but it's a comparative judgment tool that allows you to compare different pieces of written work and to assess the standard against some clear benchmarks. And what that shows, for example, year 4, where we've just had the results through, is that the writing standards across our trust are 10 months ahead of the national average. 10 months ahead. And we've got expected standards of around about 85% of our students getting to expected standards against a national average of about 75%. And we've got greater depth at 27%. It's just over there, you can tell I'm looking, where the national average is about 20%. And that's really telling stuff and really great to find out. So can I just be a big shout out to everyone involved in that writing work, that collaborative effort to drive up standards. You're doing a fantastic job. And just, that sense of doing things together, doing things all together for the benefit of our children reminds me that we're all about the glory of God as a human being fully alive. We remember that. St. Thomas, pray for us. Have a great week.